I didn't hear myself at all previously. I think I might have my mic muted. Let's see. I didn't hear myself at all previously. I think I might have my mic muted. Let's see. Okay, so my mic is on now. I didn't really do anything previously when I had it on, so now I'm gonna check it out with some sound effects, some loud explosions. I didn't really do anything previously when I had it on, so now I'm gonna check it out with some sound effects, some loud explosions. Okay, so it sounds really good. I think I might prefer to use the Xbox with this setup compared to PlayStation, mainly just because of the chat options that I have available. The Xbox with this setup compared to PlayStation, mainly just because of the chat options that I have available. Okay, now let's turn this down. And now I'm just gonna play for a little bit and just see how that goes. Okie dokie. I might try out some story mode bits because I feel like that would be the best test. So, I'm gonna leave Forge. Oh, well, that was fast. Okay. So, I'm gonna go into one of the levels here. I guess this one will be okay. It says there's one person watching, and I'm pretty sure that's me. Oh. What? I had no recollection of this. Oh, okay. I remember I was getting skulls and stuff. And just as a disclaimer, I have beaten this whole game on Legendary, but now I'm kind of just messing around on the harder difficulties. No, excuse me, on the easier difficulty to get all the collectibles and stuff like that.
Area's clear. Move on. Good work, everyone.
I noticed in the briefing Dr. Halsey lost her left arm. When did that happen?
Jewel did it. No idea when or why.
Reckon it wasn't an argument, or he'd have cut off that her arm.
Let's see. This should do it.
It's a little weird what they changed to this instead of having you hold it and do the charge shot to it. Quite strange, quite strange. But it's still really cool. It's just definitely not, doesn't have the same power that it used to have.
assaulting the back of the temple. Bring in the Kraken.
Kraken sighted.
So this is a pretty good spot to be able to test the sound quality and see how that is.
Hold position. Buy more time. Jules getting desperate. How'd you learn to speak Sangheili, Vale? When I was a kid, I was stuck on a diplomatic shuttle adrift in deep space for 6 months. My options would be real bored or spend the time getting smart.
Our destination is on the other side of this battlefield. Watch out for the Kraken. The Covenant are trying to use it to break the Promethean line.
I'd rather not get stuck between them.
I know there's a criticism that this game might have been too easy or too short, but since I played it first on Legendary, I really didn't have that issue. It took me about like 17 hours to complete it. It was really fun story mode. Definitely, I know a bunch of people aren't gonna appreciate this, but honestly, my favorite campaign plot-wise is probably Halo 4's. I just like the characterization between the Chief, that you finally got to hear him speak a lot more. And the character development between him and Cortana, I thought that was pretty good. And I thought the new Promethean weapons and stuff were really neat. Gameplay perspective, this one's definitely my favorite. It's really cool having a team with you. It really feels very Gears of War-esque. Because it's a lot easier to live than it was on previous games, since you have teammates that can revive you and such.
Kraken is falling back. Forward defenses were too much for it.
Links on me.
I've definitely had myself screaming out for some assistance from my fellow Spartans. That's probably one of my favorite features of Halo 5, being able to just shoot stuff like that. I'll probably play through the rest of the level just to see how it goes. It's funny because through the Carnage report and everything, it says that my favorite weapon is the oh my gosh, plasma rifle. Excuse me, no, not the plasma rifle.
Keep moving
Oh
toward
goodness,
position.
my mind's kind of blanking. But the alien weapons, just in general. And it's funny because I really like the Promethean weapons the most. They're just really cool. They really remind me of Transformers a lot.
Must have dealt a blow to Imdama's authority when the Promethean
Whenever I play this level for the first time, I
I
was a little frustrated towards the end, and I feel really bad about it because
It was only a matter of time.
I made it to the end
Started to break.
bunch of and I was doing the one section with the tons of knights, and it really threw me off because the knights in this game are completely different than what they were like in Halo 4. They're a lot more difficult to fight in this one, since you have to blow off each bit of their armor and shoot them in the back and things like that. Wow, easy is definitely a
Don't let
cakewalk,
them through
as
the
it's
hallway.
supposed to
We
be.
need her alive.
Sorry, Buck, you're kind of in the way. I'm really glad that they brought Buck back. Was it confusing that they brought no DST and made him a Spartan 4 and everything like that? A little bit. But it was cool to see a friendly face in this group of folks. I'm not too well versed in the Halo mythos that's outside of the main games. I know there's a ton out there in the books and the comics and everything. Oh. Oh, well.
All right, danger is clear.
Well, I'm glad that the last thing to go down was
Need
me.
assistance.
Back in the fight, Spartan.
I'm up. Thanks.
Alrighty, now let's finish up the level. I was the worst part was that was the end. So whenever I got here, when I was playing it all legendary the first time, I was literally one encounter away from completing the mission. But definitely really cool. I think that Osiris team's pretty neat. Their armor's cool, at least.
There are several. Would you like to discuss the
Well, I mean, like,
finer
at
points
first,
of casual
because I didn't really
reconciliation?
recognize any of the folks except for Buck, but I really do like their armor.
Something.
The thing about Halo 5 that is a little bit of a learning curve, or at least different than the other games, is you don't really unlock anything by playing the campaign, which is kind of sad. It disappointed me just a tiny tad. Because I beat it on Legendary and didn't get anything for it. All the other games, if you did certain challenges or things like that, you would have unlocked something. I know they kind of traded free maps and stuff like that for having to pay for armor, and that's fine. I'm down with that. I just wish there would have been something for all the efforts that I put into it. Still super cool in its own right. I've seen people online who are a little upset about this part, since everyone's got their shields and everything, except for the main elite guy. He just kind of gets stabbed. Like it's no big deal. Yeah, no shields at all. He just stabs right through him. And people online were just kind of like, oh, that was kind of a cop-out for what could have been and should have been a really cool fight. I think they were really just trying to hype up this team to show that they might be an enemy, or at least a competitor to the Master Chief's blue team.
Captain Lasky would like a word with you.
It took you long
The
enough.
visuals, I really love the visuals in this game. Really cool. Alrighty, so I believe that's going to be the end of my test broadcast. I am going to check it out, see how the audio was, and go from there. Thank you, anyone who might have watched or will eventually watch. You're the best. You all have a good night.